Everybody, Todd with 306 Foxbody. It's finally here. We've got our Performance World Mega Chamber, which is essentially like a Flowmaster or a Jones exhaust full bore. And then we got also a Performance World Ultra Max. So these are the two mufflers that we're going to be testing on the 92. So right now, we got a good old Thrush on there. You know, these are kind of a bang for the buck turbo muffler. As you can see, you know, a turbo muffler, it'll come in, it'll make a 180, come around and then back out. So they're going to restrict flow, but it's fairly quiet. They're economical. So that's what we got in the car right now. And I'll just show you this one here. This is stainless steel construction. It's actually a straight through design. This actually reminds me of the Borla exhaust, the Borla mufflers I just put on my 86. So it's got packing all the way around. It's a fairly heavy muffler. The welding is really nice. These are 2.5-inch mufflers. And the price is awesome. Like, they retail for like $59.99 Canadian. So that's cheap. And then, of course, the chambered one. When you look inside, they have your inlet, just like a lot of chambered ones do. So it's a chambered design, much like any Flowmaster or the Jones exhaust full bore. So that's what we're going to try on the car. We're going to accelerate from a dead stop. We're going to video the acceleration from a dead stop. We're going to check our decibels on the highway at 60 miles an hour. And we're also going to set up our dB meter just behind the car, roughly 10 feet behind the car, to see kind of how loud it is. So that's what we're going to do. Let's get at it. Turn around, turn around. No. That's a car that I sold that guy a long time ago. It's actually really cool. It's a 05, 06 GT with a Edelbrock E4 supercharger on it. Anyways, we're sitting here. It's at about 74, 75 decibels. I'll just be quiet for a second. I noticed there's lots of other traffic going by, and the other traffic is actually, you don't realize how loud traffic is until you're having it go by when you're trying to make a video. So here's the idle of the 92. We're just going to rev it up a little bit. 2,500. Highway at around 60 miles an hour, and when I'm not talking, it's around 79 to 80 decibels. Now we've got the Performance World Mega Chamber, it's like a Flowmaster knockoff muffler. I'm just going to walk up with the decibel meter and we'll see what it's at. So mid-70s. long it's 60 miles an hour or 100 kilometers per hour. And we'll just look at the dB meter. We'll stop talking for a second just to see how loud it is. So it's hovering around at 79 or 80 decibels, which is much like the Thrush mufflers. In the vehicle, it does seem pretty quiet. Like, I don't get a drone happening. We're at about 1600 RPM. Very happy with the way it is. Obviously, different cars with different gear ratios and stuff can have a different effect, but we're going to do an acceleration test right away here. Got our chambered mufflers off, and now we got the Ultramax stainless steel mufflers on. The first thing I noticed, the car is much quieter. For a straight through muffler design, it's amazing how quiet these are. They'll likely break in time. It's definitely quieter than the other ones. And we'll go for a spin now. We'll do an acceleration test and see how it sounds on the highway. But it's just such a really clean, tight sound. It's just very clean and tight, and it's kind of the sound I was kind of after for this car because it's fairly stock. So we'll get Joan to go in and rev it up a little bit. So it definitely has a nice rumble to it when you get into it, but sitting here idling, it's just nice and quiet. Anyways, on average, it is a couple decibels lower than what we have seen. Well guys, I'm back in the shop. It's after 11 at night, time to shut her down. So I finally made my choice on the exhaust on the 92. It was a little bit of a tougher choice. I knew I didn't want to use the Thrush. The Thrush, they're just, it's like going out for supper and getting a bland meal. Like, the Thrush mufflers, they're okay. You know, they're not really performance orientated. They actually sounded decent under acceleration, but at idle, it just didn't really sound like much. Like, it didn't sound like anything really exciting. The stainless steel Ultramax Performance World mufflers, I like them because depending on what kind of car you're going to put them on, if you want a car that's a little bit quieter, that has a nice rumble on acceleration for a straight through design muffler. But this reminded me of the Borla mufflers I just put on my 86. And I really like them, a straight through design, fairly quiet. And that's what I went with on the 92. And the reason I went with that muffler was because the car is basically stock except for headers and exhaust. Now, the chambered mufflers, the Mega Chamber Performance World muffler, I have to admit, I really like these mufflers. I will probably never buy another Flowmaster muffler again when I could put these on, because honestly, I don't think that anybody can tell the difference. In fact, I had a fellow that I know, he put a set of 3-inch of these mega chamber mufflers on a big block Chevy that's got a huge cam. He says there's no way you can tell if it's a Flowmaster or what. So if you want to buy the Flowmaster name, go for it. You know, they're definitely awesome. The Flowmaster on a Foxbody has that distinctive idle sound. It's just, and these delivered that. The idle was really cool. In fact, I pulled up to work one day with the 92, and a fella was waiting outside the office, and he says, "What's all done to that thing? Like, that thing sounds awesome." And he just thought the car sounded like it had a whole bunch of stuff done to it. And so if the 92 was modified more, I probably would have went with the mega chambers, because anybody that has, say, a cam, aluminum head, say a Cobra intake, you know, on a nicely redone LX, I think that these mega chambers are going to sound awesome. They're going to be just like a Flowmaster 40. Like I said, if you blindfolded someone and put them behind two cars with Flowmaster 40 and the mega chamber, I don't think you'll be able to tell the difference. So it was a toss-up. The reason I went with the stainless steel mufflers was because I wanted a quieter car. The 92 it's fairly stock. I wanted just a little bit of a rumble, but I wanted that tighter sound like when these cars were brand new. I just remember, you know, when these cars were new, they had a factory turbo-style muffler on it. You know, basically, I'm thinking that's what it might have been. And with the catalytic converters and stuff, it wasn't a loud car, but the sound that it made, there was something about it. And I've got other cars that have you know, lots of modifications done to them where those mufflers would sound great on them. But on this car, we went with the, like I said, we went with the stainless steel muffler. I just thought they're not restrictive, they're quiet. At idle, they're very quiet, and they just suited this car. With a few more modifications, hands down, I would have went to the mega chamber mufflers. And you can't beat the price, guys. Like, they are the construction. Actually, I had a guy that works in the automotive industry that looked at the mufflers, and he said, these mufflers are constructed as good as anything I've seen. So I really like them. I'll give you a little shot of what we did. And in case you haven't noticed, we put a stripe on the car. I like the monochromatic look. You know, when the 92s came out, the monochromatic look was hot. But even though that stripe shouldn't be on here, same with that one, it's sort of a Canadian thing, I just wanted it on there. There was something about it. It brings me back to the first, you know, the 87s, 88s when they came out. They were just such a hot design for a car. And I think the stripe looks good on here. I guess to each his own. I was sort of torn between the, you know, leaving it off and putting it on, but I just like the stripe just a little bit, you know, better. If I ended up not liking it, I can always take it off. But I think it looks great on here. I'll give you a little shot of under the car. So I've got the Flowmaster 2.5-inch tailpipes. And I've got lots of room between the tire and everywhere else. I ended up using these Performance World clamps, and I did this on my 86. I welded on a bracket to the top part of the clamp. It's just, you know, it's maybe not perfect, but it's pretty good. It's sort of a compact design, and these mufflers, they're bi-directional. You can put them either way, and so that's what we did. There's the other side. And I'm quite happy with the way everything sounds. And like I said, if the 92 had modifications done to it, I'm telling you, the mega chamber were just, they sounded really good. But I decided I wanted to keep the car a little quieter. and that's what the Ultramax Performance World mufflers did. Either one to me is a winner. It just depends on what kind of car you want to put it on and what your desired sound output. And who knows, the Mega Chamber, they might end up back on this car eventually if I do a few mods, but I wanted to do a lot of cruising with this car, a lot of summer cruising. I wanted to go on road trips, and I don't want to have to wear earplugs. So there you have it, guys. I hope you liked the muffler test. It wasn't a high-tech muffler test, but I was glad I did it. And thanks for watching, thanks for supporting the channel, and thanks for hanging out with us. And I appreciate all the comments in the comment section and everything else, and we will see you guys in the next video. Cheers.